Hello, budget friends. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa, and we are here to budget our second paycheck of December. And this is also the last paycheck for the year 2024. It is a hot mess, you guys. I'm not going to lie. Let's jump in and look together. All right, you guys, I appreciate you so much for being here. We are just going to do what we can do with this paycheck right off the bat. I'm going to tell you some things has gone way left, and I just need to take care of what I can take care of, and what can't will have to wait. So as you can see, there's $3,621.02 in ready to assign. So we did get paid late last night. Our paycheck should have been, or payday, or actual payday is today, Friday, December 20th. But we actually got paid last night because Capital One, even though they've been holding out on us. They used to deposit the paychecks 2 days early, but now we only get it, a few hours early. But anyway, we are going to see what we can do with this money here. There won't be a lot because we have 6 overspent categories to cover. And let me tell you, you guys, I really did not want to come in and budget this video. I looked at my paper budget and I'm like, I can't. But I'm here for transparency. I'm here for accountability. And I want to just show you guys that even though it gets rough, there is things that you can do to get yourself through it, or just to make it till the next paycheck. So let's just see what we can do, okay? So in this 6 overspend categories, I'm just going to discuss them right away because listen, you guys, let me tell you. So first up, I'm going to talk about this copay here. $418.86 is what we're overspent by. And let me tell you guys, I'm so frustrated with not only my doctor's office, but just doctor's office on a whole. So I've mentioned to you guys before that I do have a heart condition and I go to the doctors quite often. I do go to my primary care. I go and see a cardiologist. I see a hematologist, and there's another one that I see. I can't bring it to mind right now, but I am constantly going to the doctor, not only to, you know, monitor my heart, but also just to monitor everything else that's going on within my body. So, anyway, what I have found and what has been happening is that when I go to the lab to do blood work, not all the time do I pay a copay, which is a fault on my part. But not only that, the lab doesn't always ask for a copay. What they end up doing afterwards is they bill me. And I have been getting bills on top of bills, notices on top of notices of all of these copays that are due. Now, some of them I've disputed, and some of them they have said, okay, Melissa, yes, you have already paid that, which is my issue. They have been sending home repeat bills. And some of them, even though I have paid copays, they still send a bill home. And I'm like, I already paid that. And they're like, oh, yes, we see it in the system. The system wasn't updated. So every time I get one of these bills home, I'm usually like, I'm not paying it because I already paid it. So anyway, I have been getting these bills home in the mail and repeat statements saying that I owe these copays, and I have been just throwing them to the side because over the year or 2024, since I have been legit and on point and consistent with YNAB, I have been logging all of my transactions in here, and I have been going back and looking at all the copays that I've paid. When I do make a doctor's appointment, I put it in my phone, in my calendar. So at any given time, I can go back in the month that they're telling me I owe this copay for and pull up the calendar to see if I actually had a doctor's appointment. And then I go into YNAB and see if I actually made a payment on that day. Well, these bills that they're telling me about, some of them are from 2023. Yes, from 2023. And I wasn't as meticulous with my tracking as I am in 2024. So some of them has fallen by the wayside, and I am trying to figure out, or I really was trying to figure out if I owed these copays. But anyway, I say all that to say this. They sent them to collections, you guys. They sent these copays or bills to collections. So I was home, I think it was on Wednesday. Today is Friday. I was home on Wednesday and I get a phone call from a strange number and I answer the phone, and the person on the phone right off the bat, they told me, okay, this is communication from a debt collector. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't owe anybody anything that a collection agency should be calling me. When I got to the bottom of it, he was telling me on the phone that this was from the copays that I owed. So I sat down and I was like, okay, what do I need to do? And can you explain to me? Collection agency usually don't have all the information on the bills. So they told me I needed to contact the doctor's office myself to figure it out if I didn't want to make payment with them. So anyway, I went and I found some old bills that I had put to the side, and I went in and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just go ahead and pay them. So I'm going to click on here and I'm just going to show you guys what happened. So I went in and I paid two. So this was on the 18th. So yes, this was on Wednesday. So I went in and I paid one for $50 because he did tell me there was $200 that was in collections that needed to be paid. And I'm like, okay. So I went in and I paid $50 for one of the bills that I found home. And I'm like, okay, this got to be one of them. And then I paid another one for $95 because that was another bill that I got home. And this was for a hospital visit that I had in the summer. This was in June of this year. So I went ahead and I paid those two. I was like, let me just pay them and get them off my back. Well, when I went in and looked at the bills, there were a few more that has multiple bills with the same amount. So they have sent me statements, multiple different months. So I found one for Quest Diagnostics for blood work that I did for 2386. I found one for Pathline for another blood work for $25 copay. So I went ahead and I paid those. I paid the $50, the $95, the 2386, and the 25. Now, before I made all of those payments, I had reached out to the hospital. So all of my doctors are in a network with the hospital, and I chose that because they're in one network. So my cardiologist could pull up my PCP notes and look at them. My PCP can pull up my cardiologist notes and look at them so they can all, have an idea of what each doctor is doing for me. So I don't have to, go to the doctor's office and wait for them to call my primary care doctor and, talk to them about a treatment plan that I'm on, or my primary care to call my cardiologist and talk about what medications that I'm on. They are able to go into my file or my profile and look at everything that each doctor has inputted in the notes. So anyway, I went in and I called the hospital, who is now in charge of all of these copays, and told them that I left a message for the lady that does the billing and told her to call me back. Well, she didn't call me back on the 18th. So I'm like, you know what, Melissa, you just, whatever. Impulse, I went ahead and I paid those bills. On the 19th, now, she called me back. And she told me that the $200 that's in collection has nothing to do with the ones that I just paid. So she was like, these ones are from last year and they're in collections. There's nothing she could really do about it now that I am calling about it, but they are what they are. It is $200 and they need to be paid. As frustrated as I was and as pissed off as I was, you guys, I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and pay it. I had no money in medical set aside. I had no money in copay set aside. So these payments went on my Chase credit card. Yes, I know they're back on another card, something that I'm going to have to work on paying down. But because I didn't want any of this to affect my credit, and on impulse, I had paid some that I could have waited on, I went ahead and I paid all of those copays. So I just spoke to the lady at the hospital, even though it was in collections, because they are the original creditor or biller, I would say, or provider. They could actually accept payment and then communicate with their collections agency to cease and desist. So I went in and I paid the $200 with them right then. And before I got off the phone with her, I was so pissed, you guys. Before I got off the phone with her, I was like, is there any more bills that you guys have that I need to pay? And she was like, no, as far as we can see, you are paid up. There is no copay. I say, are you sure? Can you double check and make sure there's no more copays, and make a note on my account that as of this date, which was on the 18th, that I have nothing else to pay you guys. I don't have any bills that you guys are going to send home. She said, no, we were all set. So I'm hoping to walk into 2025 with no old bills that are going to be coming to haunt me. So that's my story. $418.86 is on my Chase card for copays that I need to pay, not in the budget. Next is this one for spend how I want. I actually spent $33.04. I did speak about this when I did my budget check-in, the mid-month check-in in here in YNAB for my December budget. We still have to cover that. And then I did have to buy groceries. So even though I didn't get paid, and this is one of the issues that I'm having, is that the money is coming, but I'm not on a good schedule. So I always run out of groceries before I get paid. So I have to float it on a credit card till I get paid. So that's one thing I'm going to do different in 2025 is I'm going to try to get myself on a good schedule to make sure I am not putting anything on a credit card waiting for a paycheck for me to pay it. All right. And I couldn't do any better. There was no milk in the house. There was no fruits. There was no vegetables. We just needed to get some stuff. So I'm overspent by $111.49. Then the additional payment for the heating oil, I need to cover $179.32. Braces, I need to cover because that went out on my credit card, and gifts. So I went out and I picked up some gifts for my for my kids for Christmas. Like I said, we don't really do a big Christmas. We just do small stuff because we are not about, celebrating and gift giving. We celebrate more the season of Christmas, the birth of Christ, and all of that stuff. We are not really focused, but my kids are young and they look forward to gifts. So I did get them a little bit of things. So now I'm just going to jump over back to the budget, and I'm going to look at the account and see what we need to pull in as transactions. We're going to try to reconcile the accounts and see about moving forward. I told you guys this is a mess. So the only transaction that was pulled in so far in my inflow account is this transfer that I sent over to my primary account, and this is to pay Lending Club. So I'm going to go ahead and approve it. I don't know why it takes so long for them to recognize that my paycheck did come in. And one thing I need to note about my paycheck, you guys, this check was $2,321.02. So it went up. So if you've been here before, I have spoke about my job. I'm in the New York State retirement system, and I'm able to buy back time that I did in the public service. So I work in public service. I don't think I've ever mentioned that to you guys before. So I work in public service. I am a part of the New York State retirement system. I had done some part-time time with in public service that I was able to buy back. There was two amounts that I could buy back because it was from two different employers. So one I think I started that in 2023, that I was buying back a set of time. And there was one that went into effect in 2024 that I'm still currently paying for. But one of them, I had fully paid for it. I was able to get back 2.5 years of part-time time that is now a part of my retirement. And because I have finished paying for that, they're no longer pulling, I think it's $94 out of my paycheck to send towards buying back that time. So I still have some time that I'm buying back right now that I think will go through into 2025, and I think maybe a part of 2026 unless I could pay it off earlier. But my check will increase by $94. But this is the last paycheck of 2024. In 2025, we will be getting a raise. I don't know how much it's going to be, and I don't know how it's going to affect my paycheck, but I do know even if I do not get a raise, my main or base check will be 232102 because I am salaried. So that's what it is for the paycheck. I did get an extra little bit of money that came into me, and I'm very happy with that. I'm going to try to see if I can reconcile. And it's saying my account is at zero balance because that's where we were before we got paid. Now, for the primary account has two to be pulled in. I made a $30 payment to my Apple Card. I'm going to approve that one. And the transfer from the inflow account here for the $1,059.22. Let's approve that and see if we can reconcile. It is saying that the balance is the $1,059.22. All right, into the bills account. So as of this date, you guys, today is the 20th. My rent check is still not deposited against the account. So we have not cleared that yet, but hubby did send over $1,000 for the household bills. If I hit reconcile, because YNAB has not pulled in any balances since the last pull was 18 hours ago. So that was the balance then. I'm going to just go ahead and reconcile. Into the wallet, I still don't have any money in my wallet. I think I'll do that after I've finished budget so I know how much money I need to pull out in cash. My Capital One number two, no, this is Capital One number one. So this card, this is a card that the braces get charged against. Now, I only have one more payment for the braces, and I'm going to call them today and I'm going to let them know, or I'm going to discuss with them, because a statement that they had print out to me stated that the last payment that I was expecting to pay in February is only $2. So instead of paying 164 in January and then $2 in February, I'm just going to tell them to take the whole thing in the month of January, so we will be squared. So that's why I didn't go ahead and take the, I guess, the automatic charge for the orthodontist and for my son's braces off of this card. I'm just going to let it go until they're done. But this is the only balance that's left on this card. What I did do though, there is $2.46 that came in as cash rewards because I charged the 164. I went ahead and assigned that or applied that to the balance of the card. So what I really need to pay right now is 161 and 54 cents. So that is reconciled. We're going to go to Mattress Firm is already paid and reconciled. My Apple Card. So my Apple Card was pulled, let's see. This one was pulled 3 hours ago. So we're all good and I have already reconciled it. I did use that card to buy the gifts for my kids. There is some more transactions that I need to pull in. So let's go down to Chase. I told you guys this is a mess. So here it is for all of the transactions that was charged to the Chase card. As you can see, I've referenced all of the bills that were paid. So when they come or they send me home a bill, I can always jump into YNAB and say, listen, oh, no, I paid you guys for this on certain dates. This was the reference number that I paid, associated with the bill. I know I'm long-winded this time, but you guys, I just need to talk it through just to make myself feel better. I hope you guys don't mind. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply and let this one come in. We need to categorize it. It's already categorized. What can I do? All right, it's already there. I don't need to do anything. It's just waiting for it to come in. But I did go out and I didn't save for this. And this is something now I need to make a note of and save for next year. Was I did go to Marshall's and TJ Maxx and I did buy some gifts for my kids' teachers at school. So they both go to the same school. And what I did, I just bought gifts for the teachers there. And I had both my little one and my 10-year-old give their teachers some gifts. So I paid $70 for gifts here. I'm going to categorize it as gifts. I'm going to enter it. It was $70.82. I did do a return. So I had bought my son some stuff from Marshall's. I ended up buying him this. It's like globe. Say that fast. It lights up. It's like a night light, sort of like a lava lamp, but not really a lava lamp. And something was wrong with it because it made a lot of noise. So I ended up returning it. I'm going to have to replace that birthday gift for him, but $16.28 is going back on my Chase card. I'm going to enter that, and it's going to be a refund for, let's see, refund for Globe. Okay. And then the next thing I did was I picked up, I think this was just body wash. So this is not gifts. I went into TJ Maxx and I was looking at body wash. We needed some at the house and I couldn't make it to another store. TJ Maxx has really good prices on body wash. So $6.51 I spent, I'm going to say, on household goods. So let's enter that now. I'm going to actually just label this as body wash just so I remember. All right, so that's what was spent on my Chase card. And yes, don't come for me. I already know I have a plan for 2025. And like I said, things was a hot mess for this week and we will recover. We will. So let's see if we can reconcile. $1,898.51 was the balance as of 20 hours ago. And I'm going to consider that my reconciled balance. Now, Capital One number two, this card, I haven't really done anything on this card. I did charge the heating oil on the 10th. I did redeem some cash rewards for $5.43. That brought my balance down. And then I made a payment because this was the only, I guess, roll with the punches that I could do to be able to pay towards the heating oil. And then there was an additional $6.86 that was paid. So now the balance is $3,145.52. And as you can see, we're still, like I mentioned, overspent by $179.32. We already reconciled that account and we are not going to worry about that. So all my other cards are still at zero balances. We have not spent any money on them. So we are just going to ignore those and move over into the budget to see what damage control we could do. All right, so I'm going to go into debt because there's two things that I need to pay that I can't avoid. One is Lending Club. So this is $1,059.22. I can't avoid that because if I do, I am going to have to pay the consequence. And then the next thing that I have to pay is my auto loan for $939.23. That one also cannot be avoided. So as you can see, now we're left with $1,622.57. Let's see what we can do. All right, you guys. So now let's jump over into fixed bills and we'll see what we need to cover here. So I have in the monthly bills, I have iCloud storage, Sirius XM, cell phone, and internet to cover. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the command decision to roll the cell phone and the internet bill into January. Now, this is bad. And the reason why I'm saying I'm going to roll them into January, because I kind of really don't want to put them on a credit card because that's the only way that I can see out of this situation. The $1,600 is not going to go far because I still have a lot of stuff to cover. I really don't want to. I really don't want to roll them into the next month, but the month of January, I have just realized, you guys, when I was putting my January monthly budget together, that January is a magic month, meaning I am going to get, or we are going to get 3 paychecks in the month of January. So I'll be able to do a little bit more in that month. And I do have a surprise. When you see my January monthly budget with me, you will see what's happening in January. But I do believe I'm just going to leave those to roll into the month of January because I don't think I can cover those. So I'm going to cover iCloud for 10 and Sirius XM for 8. And then I'm going to move down into car insurance. I do have to pay car insurance. I did push it back until the 22nd, which is in 2 days. I can't bypass this one. I have to pay it. So it's $257.40. And that's what I'm assigning. And I am going to snooze this target because I don't want it asking for any more money. Now, the next one is after school. I am not going to put anything to after school because I am waiting for them to give me a bill. So I did speak to the person that does the billing at the after school program, and she is working on putting a statement together for me so I know how much I actually owe. And once she gives me that, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and pay the whole thing. So this is going to also roll over into the month of January. Braces, I'm going to put the 164 in here just so it could cover the braces. But when I make the payment to my Capital One number one card, I'm only going to make the 161 and 54 cents. And what's left into braces, then I'm going to move it back into another category. Next is child support. I do need to send another 263 over to my older daughter. That's something that I don't put off, I don't play with. I send her the money directly. All right, so that's it for the fixed for right now. Let's jump over. I'm going to go to all and see what can be done or what else I need to do. So, first was the monthly bills. I did say I'm leaving the cell phone and the internet till the month of January. I have all of the main focus fully funded or fully spent. Credit cards, I really don't need to do anything in credit cards in here because you guys, I did already make all of my minimum payments and I'm just going to leave everything to roll into January. So whatever balances are on the cards, we'll worry about those in the month of January. And like I said a few moments ago, I do have something big to share with you guys that's going to happen in January. This 1628 is going to come from the birthday. This is going to come from the birthday. So I have to go down into true expenses and send this 1628 to the Chase card just to clear that overspending on their card because that's the refund. All right, so next we're going to go down into the transportation section. So auto loan and auto insurance are fully funded. We're just waiting to pay those. Let's see. Car fuel. So I think I'm going to have to get car fuel because even though hubby did fill up the tank, I did realize this morning that the tank is very low. So I'm going to put $50 here and hope this can carry us through the next 2 weeks into the new year. All right, maintenance and repairs, parking fees and tolls, we don't have to do anything with those. So I'm just going to go through and snooze these. I'm just snoozing them just so I'm not seeing any yellows. You know what? Let's snooze this one too. All right, so that's it for the transportation. In personal, let's see, I have 1692 to cover, but I think I need to assign another. Let's do an even $37. Okay. I don't need the 8 cents. We're just going to send 8 cents back into ready to assign. We don't need to put that 8 cents. I just want $20 in to spend how I want just to carry me through the month. Pedicure, I'm going to snooze because that's not happening this month. All right, let's move down into everyday spending. As you can see, the copay. I'm not sure if I'm going to cover this. I want to see how far we can stretch this $833 before I worry about covering this because, like I said, I can't touch it right now. I can't. Groceries, I did want to put 279. That was the budgeted amount, so I'm going to put 279. Whatever is left over out of that, which is 167.51, that's going to be the money that's going to have to get me through the rest of December into the next time we get paid, which is January 3rd, I think is our first paycheck. All right, heating oil. Do I want to do anything with this? Let's bypass that one for right now. We're going to cover household out of ready to assign. Okay. And let's go down medication. I don't need to pick up any medication from the pharmacy. Propane, they have not delivered yet, so they have not billed me. Reimbursement, unexpected spending, we're good there. So the next thing is the my baby section. I do want to get my son's haircut. So I did assign the child support already. I do want to get my son a haircut. So let's put $30 here in haircut. And that means $5 need to go into giving. So let's go back to the everyday spending section and put $5 into giving because that's the tip for the barber. So now that leaves us with $512.74. I'm going to cover this gifts here out of ready to assign 104.66. Let's cover that. That brings us down to 408.08. So that means even if I really wanted to cover the copays, I couldn't because that is 418.86. So let's just heating oil. I think I did stash some money in the home here, $20.91. That's not a lot. So we're just going to leave it there. We're just going to leave. I'm going to have to sit down and think about it whether or not I want to just take the money out of our savings to cover these. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the heating oil out of ready to assign. And that leaves me with $228.76. I'm going to put that into the copay. Let's put $228.76 into copay and see what that leaves us to cover. $190.10. That means what I'm going to do is see if I can find some money that I could move around. You know what, you guys? I'm going to take that out of the emergency fund. We're going to take the copay out of the emergency fund. I can't do any better because I don't really want to hold off on covering these bills because I'm trying my best to pay down debt, and having this amount on the credit card, it doesn't feel good. So I'm just going to cover it out of the emergency fund and get it over with. So, all right, you guys, we have assigned all the money down to zero. I don't have any other money to assign here. As you can see, ready to assign is all grayed out because there's zero money left. The cell phone and the internet, if hubby can get up some more money that can help us through to pay these two, we will pay them. If not, they're just going to have to wait until next month, you guys. It is what it is. But I can actually say that I feel very good that I was able to cover all of the overspending. Maybe I'll take the money out of savings to cover these two bills. Maybe not. I haven't decided. I'm going to have to just sit with my thoughts, get my pen and paper out, and try to figure it out. All right, you guys, that is it for this video. I appreciate you for taking the time out to watch. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. I would love for you to follow along with my journey and just to, keep me accountable. Please chit chat with me in the comments down below. I would love to know how December is faring for you guys. Are you on a good path to closing out 2024 on a good note, or is the last part of your month as messy as mine? I would love to hear. So you guys, I will tell you all happy holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah. Take the time out to, enjoy family time. Go ahead and do that. We will enjoy a little bit of family time here. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. So until next time, you guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye now.